And good morning, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to the Hump Day edition of the Morning Sprint. I am Jeffy Gray. Again, we're covering all the stories that are happening, whether it's here on a local level or nationwide. Specifically, we did just get some breaking news coming into our newsroom. Meteorologist Chris Michaels did just say that, unfortunately, Hurricane Idalia made landfall not too long ago as a Category 3, 125 miles per hour near Keaton Beach, Florida. So, obviously, we're sending our prayers out to all of our Floridians out there, especially in the Big Bend area. We've been covering this all day long, and later on in the spring, we're going to talk about some relief going there after Idalia does its damage. So again, we're tracking that all day. Had to bring that to you, start the show off. But again, like I mentioned, we always cover different kind of stories that are happening, whether they're serious stories, happy stories, stories that'll make you smile. Specifically, this one right here coming out of Glasgow. Check this out. We got a heartwarming rescue that you do not see often. We have how the volunteer first responders stepped in to save a pregnant donkey fighting for its life. Again, this is coming from the Glasgow Volunteer Fire Department. Very cool story that our photojournalist Greg Moore was able to pick up. And again, super sweet, pulls on your heartstrings. But more than anything, you guys have a lot of cool things to say about the story as well. So yes, we are going to go to the comment section in a good way on this story. Hopefully we'll bring more smiles to people's faces, bring more joy to your day. It's a joyful day for a lot of students right now because get this, it's back to school season for kids, teens, and college students. Roanoke College among those headed back to the classroom today. This year, the school is welcoming 600 new students. This is the largest class since 2019. Students are from all over 32 different states and 31 countries. School leaders say the staff members are excited to welcome students back to the Roanoke Valley. We're pumped up about it, and obviously we were listening to different sound bites earlier today. I know they were saying how they were pumped up about getting a football team next year. You know, that's something that's also gaining some traction and a lot of excitement. So we love to see that all the time whenever we have the back to school session. We can't just talk about our elementary kids, our high school kids, college kids, also in the back to school season. Speaking of college kids, Virginia Tech is set to open a new cadet building on campus that will bring all the military branches under one roof. And with the price tag of over $50 million are funded completely from donations, Virginia Tech officials and cadets said that they are excited for the building to be open. Commandant Major General Randolph Fullhart says this building is specifically designed to unite all of the cadets in the Corps. Virginia Tech officials say that the building is designed to give cadets hands-on experience for when they leave Virginia Tech, like a simulation room. Now, the building is set to have its grand opening on September the 8th. Looking forward to it. Always a lot of cool things happening at Virginia Tech, especially for our Hokies. Giving it up for them. But yeah, a lot of people are super excited about this, and I hope that this project comes to fruition and is at its completion in the most successful way possible. Buckle up, kids. We got to talk about this because while we're in the back to school season, we got to talk about properly securing our children in vehicles, okay? So, got this little cartoon character, Ivy, was designed by Roanoke City Sheriff's Office deputy. It's a new campaign for child passengers seat safety. Now, she is promoting the Safety Seat campaign on signs around schools and online. This has all started when school leaders noticed the kids at one local elementary school not being safely secured in the car. Deputies hope parents will talk with their kids about safety, double check, and they're using their seatbelt every time they hop in a car. So this is a very creative way of getting kids and families talking about properly securing themselves in the car seat because, again, you never know what will happen on the roadway, whether a person has to slam on their brakes out of nowhere or bicyclists is somewhere. You know, you just always got to be prepared, and making sure your kids are safely secured in the back seat is always a good habit to practice more than anything. So we got to talk about this, about the cars, okay? So I'm coming from San Antonio, Texas. I've dealt with some really crazy drivers, okay? And obviously, I feel like, and this is one of those things that I can say here too, I think people are the sweetest people you could ever meet when they're outside of a vehicle. And apparently, Virginia, unfortunately, has put themselves on the list of people with road rage, okay? So road rage incidents on the rise nationwide And according to Forbes, Virginia ranks as the fourth worst state for confrontational drivers. What's up, y'all? Come on now. Get your life together. Anyways, almost 90% say that they've been yelled at or verbally threatened, while around 79% of the drivers say someone honked at them in frustration.
Virginia actually stood out as being the state with the third highest percentage of drivers who reported that another driver has exited their vehicle to yell at or fight with them, with 50.5% of drivers reporting that they've experienced this.
Now, the survey also found that road rage is most common on city streets, followed by highways, parking lots, and intersections. Now, yeah, I'm a little salty about this. We could do better. Come on, y'all. We can do better as a state about not having the rage on the road. I have been in that position where I've literally been on a stoplight, and as soon as the light turns green, somebody honks at me, and I'm just like, I can see it. I'm on my way. I'm driving. So again, the intersections are one of the places the rage comes out. I'm not familiar with actual inside of a parking lot, but I do see, again, people tailgating and doing all type of crazy stuff on the highways. So y'all keep that in mind when you're out and about on the roads. Let's try to at least take that statistic down a little bit. Let's make us the fifth in the nation, because again, it's kind of embarrassing when we are marked as number 4 in the nation for road rage or controversial drivers, or confrontational drivers, excuse me. Yeah, we can do better than that. Okay, so we've been talking about Hurricane Idalia. Again, meteorologist Chris Michaels, he has been tracking this all day long about how it's almost making landfall, and it did make landfall again before the show started. Well, plans are already underway right now in the works locally provide disaster relief after Hurricane Idalia strikes. Now, Gleaning for the World, a disaster relief organization based in the Lynchburg area, will send needed items to Florida. Organization will be accepting donations at the Wards Road Sam's Club in Lynchburg on Wednesday and Thursday from 10 a.m. to 6 p.m. And some of the items that they're looking for include baby supplies, non-perishable food, personal hygiene items, and pet food.
Your heart goes out to, all the people that are in the storm's path. And so we're watching it, and we know something's going to happen. And so we're starting our response.
Now, Danville-based disaster relief group God's Pit Crew, they plan to send volunteers and donations to the hard-hit areas as well, and they're still solidifying the details on their end. But again, this is just a very a scary situation. I know earlier today on Virginia Today, right before the show started, before Idalia hit landfall, it had increased to a Category 4. So again, this storm is not playing any games. Right now, like I said, we just got an email coming in. Chris Michaels said it's a Category 3 and 125 miles per hour near Keaton Beach, Florida. Again, we're sending our prayers out to them, and I hope and pray that, this ends up being one of those situations where everybody's expecting the worst, but it ends up coming in with not that much damage. That would just be a blessing in itself. Speaking of weather, and the hurricane is not affecting us here on a local level, and in fact, today is looking pretty decent. So we got meteorologist Chris Michaels joining us right now with our Hump Day forecast.
Hey there, guys. Happy Wednesday to you. Hurricane Idalia making landfall as a major storm on Florida's Big Bend. We're fortunate that we missed the major impacts from it, just maybe a few stray showers in Southside tonight into tomorrow morning. Beyond that, humidity levels, they'll drop, making things feel really nice and comfortable through Saturday, each afternoon warming up through Labor Day. Have a great rest of your Wednesday. I'll see you first thing in the morning tomorrow on The Sprint.
Thank you so much, Chris. Again, we're going to be tracking that all day long. Things change here and there, so we'll be having updates throughout all of our later newscasts and definitely online at WSLS.com. Now, speaking of meteorologist Chris Michaels, he does this cool thing called Tasty Tuesday, where he goes out into the community, finds these different restaurants that you guys recommend, and see how they're bringing the taste buds to life in our community. And we got to give some love to Chris's Coffee and Custard. So this is, they're adding a second location, and this one is a mobile one. So they will reveal the shop's first food truck at 10 this morning. So in less than 2 hours, you'll be able to see Chris's Custard's truck. They will serve a place for the business workforce training services for people with intellectual, developmental, and physical special abilities. And with the truck, the team hopes to launch a new community outreach events all around the Roanoke Valley. Again, you know, this is really cool to see because the first time I heard about Chris's coffee and custard was through Chris Michaels going to Tasty Tuesday and seeing how fun Chris was. He was just such a man of just all type of goofiness and happiness. And I remember specifically in one of the pieces that we did, they were saying how much he was a ladies' man. So either way, a really cool dude. And the fact that his dream is coming to fruition to where he has another location that's opening and it's going to be a mobile unit, giving everybody an opportunity to experience what he has to offer. I think that is a blessing right there. And I think that's always something that we love to see. Okay, so we got to get to this story. It's kind of a stinky story. I want to keep you guys, I want to brace you real quick. I don't understand the hype behind it, but some people are very super excited about it. But you know how anytime when you taste something and it doesn't taste right, you make somebody else taste it? Well, apparently smelling is the same way for some people. So here's a situation where we're dealing with this particular flower in the botanical gardens in San Marino, California. Visitors come from all over to get a whiff of the corpse flower. You heard that right. And get this, it smells like you would guess, rotten flesh. Workers at the garden say that there's actually an evolutionary reason for a disgusting smell. And it also attracts curious people. So it says that people rush to the scene when they can because the corpse flower only blooms every few years. And when they do, the putrid smell only lasts about 48 hours. So yeah, every time I see this, I always think of Little Shop of Horrors. Got to think about that. That's anytime I think about any kind of big plant, I think of Little Shop of Horrors. But I would not know what to think if Seymour or Audrey 2 on Little Shop of Horrors, if it smelled like decaying flesh. I don't know if I can be able to take that. But to each their own. Some people find this is a good attraction. I honestly would probably stay far away from it because I do not want to smell that. And it's also good that it only lasts 48 hours. So I guess there's a plus in that. But either way, it's kind of gross. We're trying to clear the shelters, and we're in the final stretch of clearing our shelters today, trying to get these adoptable pets some forever homes. And today we're going to introduce you to Kubo. Kubo is a cute little dude, a smart and agile pooch suited for a highly active lifestyle. He's 5 years old and is a mixed breed, mixed with multiple different breeds, including a Labrador Retriever and Golden Retriever. He takes well to training and already knows basic commands like sit down and come. Now, he's shy at first, but becomes a very much filled with excitement once he gets familiar with you. Ideally, Kubo is best in a home without cats or kids, but he's capable of living with older children, and he has already been spayed and neutered, and his adoption fee is sponsored. So if you're interested about Kubo, please go to our website at WSLS.com. You can visit that and also see other adoptable pets on our website, WSLS.com. Go to our Clear the Shelters page. So let's try to get Kubo in a nice forever home because, again, he deserves it. He's a really cute guy right there also. Okay, guys, this is my favorite story of the day. Again, our photojournalist, Greg Moore, he went out and shot this, and he does a really beautiful way with telling a person's story without us even having to say anything, and that person being able to tell their story. So pretty sure you guys have heard about this right now. It's a heartwarming story where there was a pregnant donkey was rescued after getting stuck in a pond. So 10 News, again, photojournalist Greg Moore, he shows us the Glasgow Volunteer Fire Department, how they stepped in when it was needed the most. So check the story out.
When I was going up through here, the little donkey was laying across the road, and she was crying, carrying on. And I blew the horn, she wouldn't get up. And I got out and come over here and started rubbing her, and it was like, when I turned around, I looked and I said, God, her mother's down there. I knew I couldn't get her out by myself, so I started calling people.
Heard the call go out, I was like, all right, we have a donkey in a pond. What's the first thing we need to do? We got there, and it was like, I never had an incident like this before.
When they got here, it was like chain reaction. And they showed up with backboards, ropes, straps, and everything. And the one guy stood there and made sure he took a place of holding her head up so she didn't drown.
At the end of the day, Emma was pregnant as well. We had to worry about 2 lives there instead of 1, and it made the rescue a little tricky.
We actually pulled the donkey out the pond, and she stood up and actually took off, which that was a great relief in his eyes and ours as well. Having that feeling when she stood up and took off, it was just amazing. I was like, that's going to stick with me for the rest of my life.
I got other donkeys, but this one right here has got a special place in my heart. thank you. There's no words that will take the place of what they did. Kind of like, you know, some people's got dogs and I got donkeys. That donkey is like my kid. Come here, Emma. Emma, look here. I mean, I live by myself, and that donkey is part of my family.
I absolutely love this story because, again, it just shows how the community steps in no matter what the situation may be, no matter how big or small something may be to one person or another. Everybody works together for the same cause. And to see that that story had a happy ending always pulls on my heartstrings. And again, I love to see community sticking together. You hear my voice all the time, but right now I want to hear what you had to say. You guys had a lot of sweet things to say about the story as well. So right now, let's go ahead and go into the comment section. Again, a pregnant donkey rescued from a pond. Super scary situation. And right now, again, if you go on our Facebook page, you would see that we have a lot of people who shared this story, actually. And them sharing this story, that also goes a long way as well. So get this, Tori Miller McLeod, I hope I said that correctly. They said, congratulations to Chief John Hill and the Glasgow Fire Department in Glasgow, Virginia, for the successful rescue. We have had the pleasure of having the chief and members of his department attend our training courses in the past couple years. So it is a good feeling when the training can be put to good use to save a life. Great job using the equipment that you have on hand in your training to perform a successful rescue. Thank you so much for that comment. And then we got another one coming in, also giving the department praise, saying that a rescue is a rescue is a rescue. Thank you so much, Scott, for sending that in. And then on our website, on the article, when you guys drop comments in the comments section, this came in from WF Kernels. It says that this is heartwarming. Definitely heartwarming to see that. And then last but not least, we got a comment coming in from Joe. Says, good story and a great donkey dad. Thank you. Thank you so much for sending that comment as well. And obviously, I got to give some love to my boy, Kareem. He just messaged in right now on my Facebook page. I just posted this article on my professional page. And he says that in my hometown of South Arkansas, around 100 years ago, a team of heavily laden oxen were trapped in a muddy main street. They were not rescued, but they are said to still be buried beneath the pavement today. This is a nice change. Thank you so much for writing in, sending us that comment. Again, we love it when you guys engage with us. And again, when you guys have really sweet stories to share with us. On that note, I want to bring in Jazzy Jazz. Jazz, are you with me?
Yeah, hey, good morning.
Hey, girl, how you doing?
Doing good, can't complain.
Hey, so what do you think about that donkey story? I'm telling you that was by far like my favorite story.
Yeah, I think it's a great story because, I mean, we have a lot of hard news, a lot of crimes and shootings and news that sometimes is hard to hear. So it's nice to have that positive news kind of in the mix sometimes just to show you that there are still good things going on with the community and there are still people coming together for a good cause. And I'm glad that they were able to save the donkey because it looks like the donkey is really important to the Glasgow man. And, like, I can understand that. So I have a little fur with myself. I couldn't imagine something happening to him. And he said it's like his kid.
Yeah.
And, like, I get that. So I'm just really happy that the donkey was saved and was able to make it out safe.
I love that. Now, I got a question for you, and this is kind of crazy. It's kind of an off question, but I'm just thinking about that corpse flower. And I just want to know if someone paid you $100 to either A, wear the corpse flower around as a cologne, or B, just be stuck in a room with it for the 48 hours that it will be stanky. Would you do it?
I don't think I could do it. I don't think it's worth it. It's traumatizing.
You don't want to smell?
It smells like rotten.
Oh, so it's like, you telling me you don't want to smell that?
No, I'm good.
I love it.
What about you?
Oh, girl, you already know my answer. I can't even think about just being in the same room with it. I don't understand the attraction, but again, to each their own. Some people like it, but I can't. My nose is already sensitive like that, and unless they want me puking everywhere, then I couldn't be in that same room with it.
Yeah, that's a no from me.
Do we have any comments or viewers today?
We have a ton of viewers. We don't have any comments today, but you guys feel free to leave a comment even after the video's over. As you see, we have a section of our video where we go to the comment section from the previous day. So we would love to hear from you guys, even if it's later on when you're watching on, you're catching up on the morning sprint. But we would also love to hear from you live. So to do that, you just need to go to WSLS.com, click on the morning sprint article, and the comment section is right in the article. Super easy to leave a comment. We would love to hear from you guys. Love interacting and just hearing your thoughts and hearing what you have to say.
Perfecto, Jazz. Well, you got anything else, girlie?
No.
All right. Well, have a blessed one, okay?
All right, you as well.
All right. All right, that was Jazz. Always a good time hanging out with Jazz. Before we let you guys go, you already know we got to get to the headlines of the day, something that you need to be in the know about, whether it's happening in our later newscast or online. Lynchburg police made an arrest in connection to the murder of Averill Hooks. This is a 20-year-old woman who was missing for nearly a week before her body was discovered in Amherst County. 21-year-old man by the name of Michael Perry III has been arrested, charged with second-degree murder and unlawful disposal of a dead body. So we're covering that story. You'll have the latest on that. Plus, we've got a warning after a Roanoke doctor facing a rare diagnosis that almost left him deaf in one of his ears. It's called sudden sensory neural hearing loss. That is something kind of crazy, but you want to keep in the know about that. And then last but not least, we are tracking Hurricane Idalia as it makes landfall. Hopefully the destruction is not as much or not as bad as a lot of people are expecting. I know we have some relief going that way. We're going to be following, obviously, this hurricane. Our weather authority will be taking care of that and giving you guys all the latest on that. But again, those stories and so much more coming up in our later newscast and online at WSLS.com. That does it for our Hump Day edition of the Morning Sprint. Thank you all who did comment in on us talking today. And again, if you see the story at a later time and got something that you want to say, drop it in the comment section and we will definitely get to it. You guys have a wonderful day. We'll see you guys back here tomorrow, 8 a.m., WSLS.com for the Morning Sprint.